Hi, I'm Carol Allen with Love is in the Stars, and today I'm going to talk to you about the election. What do the stars have to say about this election? Is it Trump or is it Kamala? Are we going back to the Republican candidate that we knew that we had before, or are we going to go off into the sunset with the first woman in the history of the United States as president? Very exciting times, very intense times, very dramatic times. What do the stars have to say? Well, of course, I've been watching this closely. In astrology, what you do is you look at several things. One of my favorite things is you look to the chart of when a candidate throws their hat in the ring. Then you look to the chart of when they accept the nomination. Then you look to the chart of each of them individually, of course. Then you look to the chart of the country. No kidding. Places have astrology charts too. And in the case of the United States, you look to the chart of the signing of the Declaration of Independence as the beginning of the version of the United States we all know and hopefully love. So it's complicated, right? And it's really, really, really complicated because you also look at their running mates, you look at election day, you look at the time the polls close. I mean, I don't know about you, but I get like really overwhelmed by all the things and like what do you make the most important thing? Is it the period that the candidates are in? Is it just looking at presidents? What if the chart of the inauguration on January 20th of 2025 indicates something? That's a whole other chart, right? And what's really tricky about it is all the candidates are powerful people, or they wouldn't even be the candidates. And then they're at the height of their fame. They're at the height of these times in their lives where they are on the world stage. So even the side that loses is having all these really powerful indicators at the time of the election and all these powerful transits. And so, I mean, I'm going to come clean. The last two times I predicted elections publicly, I was dead wrong. So here's the good news. Here's what I can tell you. Chinese astrology is really amazing, just like the system I do from ancient India. And it has also 12 signs of the zodiac. Many of you, I'm sure, have heard of this. A lot of us were introduced to this in Chinese restaurants on placemats. Anyway, so it has 12 signs of the zodiac, and it, like Western or Vedic astrology, has signs that go well together and signs that do not. It also has this idea that every year there's a major sign for the year. There's the zodiac indicator of the year. And for each of us, the year may be a good year, a middling year, or a not so good year, depending on if that sign is friendly or supportive or unfriendly or unsupportive to our own Chinese sign. So now, if I've lost you already, stick with me because this gets amazing. Okay, so Chinese astrology, it's a lunar system and it goes from late January, early February to the following late January or early February. And each year lasts a year, it's a lunar year. And each sign has a sign that's its enemy. So each sign comes in these triads. It's like these happy three where you're going to be the most naturally comfortable and naturally able to be yourself and in alignment and ease and flow and affinity with people in your triad. But you're going to be a little less comfortable, or things are going to go a little less smoothly with people directly opposite you. And the way you can look this up is just look up the Chinese zodiac and look at the signs on the wheel that are opposite. Well, here's the thing about this year. I'm going to get straight to the point. This is a dragon year. In Chinese astrology, Kamala is a dragon. She was born in 1964, which was the year of the wood dragon. It takes 60 years to get your year and element to come around again, and that is this year. So it is a wood dragon year for the world. And for wood dragons, people born in any year of the dragon, but especially the year of the wood dragon, this is the year that's in total alignment for them. And it's thought that you are uplifted and supported in the year that is your year. So she has the wind at her back. She has the support of these unseen, invisible forces. And laugh all you want, but she's a dragon. And what are dragons? They are these magical, mythical creatures that can fly over boundaries and obstacles and can breathe fire and are magical. And so the way she's in the position she's in, like her or not, you got to give it to her. It's kind of breathtaking. It's kind of incredible. She found a side door and she flew right over it, right? And she got to this lofty place. And dragons are also very fast, right? This all happened so quickly. So this is a dragon year that's really good for her. Well, here's where it gets amazing. Donald Trump was born in 1946, and 1946 was the year of the dog. And the dog happens to be the sign opposite the dragon. The dog and the dragon are enemies. They are enemies. They cannot have a shared vision. They cannot have shared goals. They do not support each other. They have a hard time supporting each other. Now, before you freak out and look yourself up and look up who you love and there's always more to it. But here's the thing about the election. Donald is a dog. This is a dragon year. The dragon is the enemy of the dog. When you're in your enemy year, you are swimming against the current. You do not have the flow and the ease and the support. So what's happened to him this year? Oh, gee, let's review. Hold up, right? 34 criminal counts he's been found guilty of. He lost a civil case. He had an assassination attempt. He's apparently been very upset about this whole turn of events in the election, and it is not his time. Now, does that mean I'm officially predicting he will lose? No. Why? Because I don't want to jinx anything one way or the other, because like I said, I'm a two-time loser at this, and it's because I'm a personal astrologer. I'm a love astrologer. My favorite thing is looking at relationships. It's not looking at 85 charts. It's not looking at countries and running mates and inauguration days and it's just looking at two people or one person and what's going on with them. And that my brain can handle, my ADD adult brain. That other stuff is just, I'm going to bow down to my colleagues that do it and do it well. That is not my thing, and it's not what I'm here for. The other reason is because Donald Trump has a chart where you can never count him out. Oh my gosh, there is a myth associated with one of his main indicators in his chart that is literally just like what we see with villains in movies, where you think they're finally done, right? You think they're dead. And then just as the protagonist, like, whew, heaves a sigh of release, there comes this hand out from behind, right? And they're not dead. Okay. So you can't count him out ever. So love him or leave him. That's why he's always coming back for more. That's why he's undeterrable, indefatigable. His chart has tremendous energy. But here's where it's also kind of amazing. Back to this Chinese astrology thing. I almost forgot to tell you, OG. Tim Walz is also a dragon. What? He's also a dragon. He's also in a time where he will be supported by, the wind at his back. He also jumped over boundaries without, any effort. He's also flying in the clouds. Okay. So I gotta say, if I was just a Chinese astrologer, I'd be I'd be betting on the Dems, but I'm not a better. So we'll see. But I just had to share that with you because I have to say this is probably the only year in history where it so perfectly lines up that way. And it's fascinating. Now, I have a nephew that's a brilliant Chinese astrologer, and I had a mentor who for years told me Chinese astrology was every bit as good as Vedic. So I've been a fan for years. And if you want to know more about Chinese astrology, my nephew and I, Tosh, did an amazing, amazing webinar that you can learn more about in my description of this very course and in my comments below. And if you would just like to learn more about relationship astrology, that thing that is my specialty, that thing that I have a good batting average at, that thing that I absolutely love with all of my heart, you can check me out at loveisinthestars.com. And all of us, let's just wish for a positive, smooth outcome and transition, and that everything be for the highest and best for all of us concerned. I love you all. God bless America. Thanks for watching.